Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, today we're going to continue with this picture, and I am doing it in real time. So we've got hours and hours. I think we have three more videos, or two more after this, or three more after this. I'm not really sure. But I thought today would be fun if I just answered questions that you guys have been writing to me and comments, and to personally respond to you guys. I have a lot of comments printed out, and we're gonna get to everybody's questions today. Cream in the Coffee wrote, well, of course you get a standing ovation from me. I relate this video to my writing. I have a very distinct writing style, which people are able to discern if they pay attention to my verbiage. So yes, I have a certain writing style, but I am still trying to find my voice with coloring. I love this. I love the way you phrase it, and it's perfect. Find your voice. Tell your story through your art. Finding your own personal style is what's going to set you apart from everybody else. Nobody goes into a museum to see copies of things. They go to see the original artwork. And that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys. Your ability to find your own way of doing it. I do color alongs, and I tell you what colors I'm doing. But when you become able to pick up the pencil and instinctively know, well, I need this pencil and this pencil and this pencil next, and you could put that wax down on that paper so that it says your name on it, then you're really doing art. So bravo, my cream in the coffee. Cheryl Gryinger, love the picture. Thank you for the translation between PC and FC pencils. Also love when your lesson is applied to a picture, as I learned better that way. I'm really glad you are getting that out of my lessons. Everybody learns differently. There are people who need to go to school and have to sit in front of the class and have the teacher teach, and that's great. There are people who can do home study, and they just need the outline of the book and a direction to go in, and they learn that way. There are people who can do online courses, which you kind of get the best of both worlds. And then there are people who need to actually learn by doing. And that's what I'm trying to accommodate, every type of learning situation, and I'm getting better at it. I agree that when I'm doing my pencil lessons, to do the demonstration right after the lesson in the same video is much better than splitting it up and doing it in 2 days lessons. It allows people to hear it and have it explained, and then see it, and then when you're done with it, take the course and the paper that I'm giving to you and apply it. Pick up your own pencils. I'm going to be giving you guys actual demo pictures. There'll be original artwork, but you'll be able to apply the lesson that I gave you to an actual picture that I'm doing. And I think that's going to help a lot of people too. So that's coming up on the horizon very soon also. Kathy O writes, cool way to enrich Puff's life. Our cat likes YouTube also. I do a lot of enrichment with him because it's kind of sad just leaving him sitting in a tank. Mostly it happens in the summertime when he's more active. This time of year, he starts to wake up a bit. All reptiles do that. They sort of slow down and they wake up, and it has something to do with the sun. It's something natural in them. So he's getting a little antsy being in his tank. During the summer, he goes outside. I have a bigger enclosure for him outside, and it's on wheels, and I move it around so it follows the sun. They need a natural UVB to have healthy bones. So he gets plenty of that here in the desert. He also has his own swimming pool and his own leash for when I take him out. So he gets a lot of enrichment, and he's always like sitting on my shoulder or on the top of my head. I once went into the car and I completely forgot that he was sitting on my head. William A. wrote, he loves to watch food and cooking shows. LOL. Yes, he does. He does depending on what's up on my screen, he will go after it and he will definitely react to it. Antoinetta Benbow, I love watch watch your videos, but in the same time, it would be nice if you can tell us what color pencils you use in this video. Thank you. Usually I do give you the pencils, but this video series where I'm doing real life and I'm coloring in real time has so much in it that if I was to go back for the hours and hours and hours and put in the colors that I'm using, I wouldn't get these videos done. It would just take me weeks. As it is now, I've slowed down my upload process because it takes such a long time to do these videos. But normally I do give the pencils. So just relax and hang out. This isn't really a follow along. It's a listen and watch and learn my process video. Jan G wrote, please angle the camera in a way where we could see the pencil tip. I've noticed this a lot. Your thumb is blocking the view of the pencil tip where it touches the paper. Some of us need this detail. Otherwise, great video. Thanks so much. You are not the only person who has complained about that. It's just the way I'm holding the pencil, and you're right, sometimes I end up blocking it. I have another, well, I couldn't find it, but I just found it this weekend. I was doing my spring cleaning. I have another tripod that will give me another angle, so I'm definitely going to take this seriously and try to get better angle views. But thank you. I mean, it's just like a reminder of things that I have to do. JN writes, love watching Puff, another YouTube celebrity. He needs his own channel, and he's getting it. In fact, it's in the planning works now, and I'm just getting film footage because I kind of have to wait for him and his schedule. So I want to stock up on it for a little bit before I actually launch the channel, but he is getting a channel, and it's going to be for children, and I'm going to teach art, not just crafts, but art to children through Puff. Fluffy, aka Hibiscus. I always hate it when people look down upon adult coloring, but they don't know what they miss and what beautiful artwork one can produce. Just look at your pics, so fabulous. Thank you, Fluffy. You know, I had an alligator once as a pet, and his name was Fluffy. Just a side note. Someday I may use that to see if my subscribers are paying attention. Someday I will use that in a question for like a prize. What was my alligator's name? And it was Fluffy. First person. But we're going to wait a while to see, let people forget, but that's a good name. Okay, so your comment. I totally agree with you. I don't like the way people look down at adult coloring, but they don't understand it. There are two ways of looking at adult coloring. One is the therapeutic way, where you don't need to do art. You just have to keep your mind busy, the colors going on the page to bring out the therapeutic aspects of coloring. And then there's those who are actually using it as a stepping stone to doing original art. You're learning how to use the pencils as an artist would. I'm trying to accommodate both types of people who are using adult art therapy. It is a fantastic tool. Now, if I was teaching high school, my kids would have coloring books. Uh, Doing sketch art is completely different. In fact, when I was in art school, we didn't even learn color theory or anything like that. My first 2 semesters in school, it was all sketch art. I'm going to, in say a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a video on sketching. kind of like a cheat sketching lesson where you can get some original artwork and still rely on coloring books. So that's coming up very soon too. But great comment. Bev Aberley writes, interesting conversation today on perspective, Lori. My granddaughter is very artistic, but only has vision in one eye. She was born with infantile glaucoma. She is nearly 15, and her art teacher wrote to her parents praising her work. Did you know, Bev, that there are blind artists? And I think it's the coolest thing in the entire world. How they do it is, well, mostly they do it with paint, and they can actually feel the colors in the paint, the different textures that a different color makes. And I understand exactly what they're talking about. If I took the color cream and I took the color eggshell and I closed my eyes, put on a blindfold, and just scratched the paper, I could tell you which is which just by the feel of it. So she might be interested in watching some of those videos on blind artists. Melody Trotter says, I want to learn how to do the blur background where it's darker near the picture and then fades to white. Those are a lot of fun to do, and yes, I will give you your tutorial on that. Just let me get the right picture and I'll do it. You might find pastels very easy to do it. It's one of the ways you could do it is with you use a pastel as the bottom, and then you can always put pencil on top of the pastel. And I work with both dry and creamy pastels, and it works for both. So that's just one way of doing it, and I'm going to do a whole tutorial for you because I know a lot of people like to do those backgrounds. I like to do those backgrounds too. Victoria Blank wrote, no wonder you are so fabulous. It really shows that you have a lot of talent both in your art skill and your ability to explain what you do and why. I've watched other artists like Chris Chang, but just watching someone do their thing doesn't help me learn how to improve myself. Your videos are so full of information and help that it's quite amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge. Well, Victoria, I think Chris Chang is one of the best artists that are on YouTube. I fangirl over her. If I can learn to do art the way she does art, I would be in heaven. Um, Other than that, no, she doesn't do talking videos. I think she's done one or two, and she has a pretty heavy accent, so that might be why she doesn't do it. And it took me a while to get comfortable doing voice videos. Getting to understand what's in my head and then having it actually come out my mouth was really hard. And it took me months and months to get completely confident within myself and my ability to teach. I sort of had to think of how I taught my daughter as a young child how to do it. And when I was able to think in my head, okay, this was the steps one, two, three, and four. And once I understood that, because it's something I do naturally, that there are really steps, then it was good. It also helped that I get a lot of good feedback from my subscribers. I really don't get hate on this channel like everybody does on YouTube. I don't. I've maybe gotten a handful of snappy people. I do respect what everybody says to me, even the snappy ones. If they say, oh, Laura, you could have done it this way, or hold your light better this way, usually they're right. I've gotten a lot of good ideas from people just by giving me positive feedback. And it's not really feedback, it's positive reinforcement. No, that's not the word. Um, I have to think. Positive criticism or criticism in a positive way. I know there's a word for it. 54 years old, I forget. Judy Elms wrote, I love your style, enjoy your tutorials, and I'm going crazy trying to find the artist whose music you've used in this stream and in past ones. If I were a love song, would you take me home? Are the lyrics. Not sure if that's the title. You and me both. I have the person who um, composed it, but I haven't found this. This song is not really out there. There are certain songs that people who pay for videos, like who pay for music to do videos with, I'm I belong to one of those places, and that's where I get these songs from. She's like a diamond in the rough sea out there. There were two songs by her. I played both of them, the one you were talking about and another one, but I'll try to find it. I thing is that I downloaded it a long time, and the download doesn't tell me who she is, and I have to go back, and there's thousands and thousands of video music that I've downloaded, and I have to try to see if I could find that exact one. Wendy Zerby wrote, love watching this video, watching you color while telling a personal story. Awesome, and so nice to get to know you in that way. There comes a point in every YouTuber where people want to know a little bit more about them personally. Um, I don't share a whole lot of personal stuff on this channel. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I've got all girls, no grandchildren yet. Two of them, well, one of them is married, one of them is walking down the aisle in 5.5 weeks. And let's see, um, I've got a lot of pets. I've got a dog. I've got two birds, a lot of fish, and I have, of course, Puff. So that's that. I'll get more personal. I need something to talk about. I love this comment. Of course, it's from Brenda Snyder. She's been with me a long time. Just gorgeous coloring. You make it look so easy. Wish it was so simple for me. Starting a new picture is so overwhelming. What colors to use, remembering what I'm supposed to do. LOL, between pain and age and meds to help the pain. Brain doesn't work that well anymore. After I can start coloring again, going to watch your videos again and start coloring then. Hopefully I can make a picture look more like what I've been dreaming about instead of the way an elementary school child. LOL. Okay. First of all, that's not true. Brenda's a lot more talented than she lets out. Um, let's talk a little bit about pain and pain management while coloring. There's when you start getting into art and art therapy, art is a way to decrease your pain. Now, I can get into the metabolic processes of what goes on in your brain, but basically, you're flipping the side of the brain and turning on these things called alpha waves, and you let them mull in your brain, and then out come things called endorphins, and endorphins lower your pain. Um, you have to be pretty disciplined if you've got a higher level of pain. For lower level pain and anxiety, coloring is exactly what everybody needs. It puts you into that zen-like state that release those endorphins. It's much like it's a lot like meditating, and you can bring yourself into that meditative state. It doesn't matter whether you're good or bad to get the benefits. And first of all, nobody's bad at coloring. My favorite YouTuber on YouTube is Monkey Boo. Okay, I admit it. I am a Monkey Boo fan. And if you've never seen Monkey Boo, he is the cutest capuchin monkey that ever walked this planet. I am completely in love with him. And what makes me laugh is that his owner, Pete, actually gives him paper and pencil, and he loves to color. I think that's like one of the reasons I fell so in love with him. I watch a lot of monkey videos. I watch Little Ollie. They're called the Boo Crew. And I watch Little Ollie, and then I watch these two baboons, Chucky. I love her. Chucky. There's so many of them, but Monkey Boo is definitely my favorite. How did I get to talking about Monkey Boo? Next. Deirdre Lewis, I'm 71 years old and you have taught me a lot. I have zero artistic ability but loved coloring as a child. I'm going to stop right there. Deirdre, you are 71 years old and you do have artistic talent. I promise you that. And you can learn at your age. Have you ever heard of Grandma Moses? She lived in the 1800s and lived till 1961. She was 100 years old. And she didn't start doing art until she was 78. Can you imagine if she had said, I don't have any artistic talent? So, no, it does not matter if you're 71 or 101. You could be 21. Your artistic talent lies just below the surface. There is always time for you to learn how to become your own artist. Will you become Grandma Moses? Maybe, maybe not. But the pictures that you're going to do, and let me tell you something, because I'm going to start this as soon as I become a grandma. The pictures that you will be leaving for your family when your time comes is going to be worth more to them than a pot of gold that you can leave to them. My mother passed away when I was in my 20s, and my most prized possession in this world, I swear to God, is her pocketbook from the day she died. It has everything that she had in her pocketbook on that day. I've got snotty tissues. I've got a brush with hair in it. I've got lipstick with her DNA on it. And that is my most prized possession. If I had to run out of the house, besides, not my family included, but if I had to pick objects from my house that I just have to have with me, my mother's pocketbook would have been it. So imagine what your family is going to do with your pictures. And this goes for everybody's family. You don't even realize it, but your pictures that you're doing are going to be your personal legacy. Do them. Do them well. Enjoy them. Let your soul come through them. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. Just make it yours. Amazing Grace XOXO1 says, they should do that with more high schools and different subjects. I grew up in Italy and all high schools are different and teach something different depending on what you want to be. Yeah, they have stuff here called magnet schools, and you don't automatically get into a magnet school. You have to have some sort of talent. My daughter got into the top magnet school in Nevada for art. Her boyfriend at the time went and got into the magnet school for engineering, and there's all sorts of them. The one that my daughter went to was also for theater and music, and I forgot the stars that came out of it, but there's been several that have really made it in this world as far as entertainment goes. And believe me, the shows that they put on were magnificent, and they have their own art gallery, open to the public, and they really did an amazing thing. There used to be well, they're not used to be. There is a movie, Fame. I think it came out in the 1980s. And this school is exactly like the school Fame. Judith Morgan, I usually feel frustrated not knowing how to duplicate what other artists create. You break it down as if I'm smart enough to actually learn, and I am. Thank you. Well, Judith, of course you're smart enough to learn. Everybody is smart enough to learn. It's such a personal thing. Art is what you create. It's when you put your special touches on everything you do. So don't get frustrated that you can't duplicate what other people do. Everybody has a different touch, a different feel, a different way of seeing a picture. The story gets told in different ways. So, yes, you are smart enough. I'm glad you realize that, and you're going to do fine. Tammy George says, by the way, I found on the worksheet so far, pale vermilion you have as PC92 and it's PC921. I know you have a hard time reading them, so do I, laugh out loud, using a mag glass to look at. I'll let you know if I find any more on the way as I'm filling in. Well, that's a good thing for you to tell me. Thank you. I will get that fixed. Well, that was a lot of fun. I should do that more often, answer some of your comments out loud. I just want to let you know I read everything. I might not respond to everything. I try to give it at least a heart so you know that I did read it. But I do read every single thing that's up on my YouTube page and in private. Maybe it takes me a day or two to get back, but I usually do. So what's going on? I have now that the weather is getting warmer, Puff will be coming out a lot more. Reptiles kind of go through like this slow period, and I don't want to bother him too much because he sleeps a lot. But it has something to do with the sun, and I think I mentioned that in the video earlier. But he's woken up big time, and his demands to be out of his cage are quite often. And he wants to be sitting where the action is. He doesn't want to be locked up. So you'll be seeing him a lot more. So let's talk about what's going on this page. Right now, I'm adding in some of the darker details. It gets a little complicated because I've already added in a lot more than 3 colors on everything by now. Now I'm hours into this and I'm still working on the leaves. And that's because I'm getting to the upper layers of the leaves and I'm able to judge what's sort of going on around it. And I could tell how dark I can get that leaf. If I took it really dark at the beginning, I'd have nowhere to go with it. So you're going to start understanding the process in my mind on how and why I do things. I'm not going to put out the next video just yet. I'm going to do another video in between. I have actually 2 videos I might do in between, and that will help you understand some of the upper levels on this picture. And what I like the upper layers on this picture and why I'm going to choose the colors that I will. And you'll understand that a little bit better over the next couple of days. So thank you for being here. I'm going to put a little bit of music on and we'll take it to the end. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys, and I will see you in a day or two. Take care. Bye-bye.